Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Nature y Nosotras. I am Tatiana, a naturalist and educator here on Teachings by Tatiana, and I'm joined by Yesi. We are going to talk all things art, community, and working as an artist in your own studio space, because that's where we are right now. We're in Yesi's studio, and yeah, we're going to just kind of get into a little bit more about her work and her impact on the community. So, Yesi, you want to say a few words?
Yes. So, thank you, Tatiana, for having me on your podcast. I know we tried scheduling it so many times, but it's finally happening. And I'm excited. It's my first podcast, so I'm ready.
I guess I'll start with, when did we meet? Was it when you came to my embroidery class?
Yes.
Was that the first time we met?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
At the campong?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was when we first met. I hadn't tried embroidery before, so I was like, let me try it. And I really liked it.
Yeah.
And I remember it took so long, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to hurry up.
It is time consuming, but I feel like good art is, it takes time. And I think I like that memory because like art brought us together at first, Yeah. And since I've taken more of your classes and we collaborated on stuff together, so it's fun to learn from each other, but also be able to come together to provide a workshop because that was super fun.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start with like a little icebreaker question, and you know me, I love the environment and nature. So I'm curious if you had to think about like a season to describe the time of your life that you're in right now, what kind of comes to you when you think of that question?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm in the season of connecting with people.
Love it.
I actually, yesterday I posted on my Instagram that I'm trying to start like a monthly creative meetup, because as a solo business owner, like it's very isolating sometimes, and just having kind of like sort of co-workers would be nice to someone to share like what projects you're working on and get feedback or just support, because I know I'm not always doing things maybe the right way, and maybe somebody else has more knowledge on something that they've done and it's helped them, and you can share those experiences. So I'm trying to promote that a little bit to see where it goes.
Yeah, that's so exciting. I also voted yes on that, so
I'm
excited for whenever that comes together. But that reminds me, you and I have collaborated in that sense too. Like we've had a few times where we're just like, this is what we're working on, these are ideas, and just like sharing information. And
the coffee shops.
Yes, and that goes like such a long way, I feel like, and that's something I want to get into later on in the conversation. But doing this kind of work is hard because you're doing it all on your own.
Yes.
So having that community, at least someone to say like, hey, what does this sound like to you? Like, is this a good idea, or how would you approach this? Is so helpful.
Yeah, and just like maybe someone to hear like, oh, this is how I pitch to my clients. Like, tell me if you were my client, what like feedback you could give me. Like, I think that's really important, because sometimes we, like me especially, I think like, but I said all the right things and they didn't say yes, so maybe I'm not saying all the right things, or maybe there's a different approach to it. So I think it will be very helpful for everyone that joins.
Yes, and I'm really excited for it too, because I've attended 2 networking events recently and I learned so much. So I would love to come to that group and be like, this is all the information I learned, especially with you, because I know we're both kind of creative oriented people. So it's interesting to hear how other entrepreneurs are doing things, especially those that are in a different stage of their business and they're a little more successful and profitable. So it's nice to like learn from them as well. So I'm just so excited to connect again, so I can tell you all this good stuff, because I also want feedback on some ideas that I have. So I would love that. So season of connecting and building community. I love it. So your business is Yesi Makes Art, and your name is tied to it. And I'm curious, like, because for me, I also took a similar approach in creating my name. I was like, I want my name to be associated with like my brand, because it's me
Right, we are our brand, yeah.
Exactly. So how did you kind of decide to come up with Yesi Makes Art, and like what was your journey to get to where you are today?
So it's actually something that I wasn't planning to do. I was working in like the corporate world, and then the pandemic came and I lost my job and started thinking like, how can I reinvent myself? And I remember I was making these little mini paintings, and I started selling them on Etsy, and people were buying them, and I started making stickers and selling on there too. And I remember brainstorming with my sister names for my Instagram. And we were like, Yesi does art, Yesi this, Yesi that, right? And then we finally came up with Yesi Makes Art. So I have to give my sister credit for that, helping me with that. Yes. And at first it was just going to be my name on Instagram, but then it became my actual business name because it's really catchy. Mm-hmm. I've noticed people that follow me, and I find them in public spaces, and they're like, Yesi Makes Art, and I feel so like, oh my gosh, it's so nice. I feel like it's very catchy, and people like saying it.
Yeah, I think it's like perfect because it also says exactly what it is you do just by reading the name, you know?
Yeah.
So it's really easy to be like, I make art, you know?
Yeah. I have also had like funny experiences with people that don't speak Spanish. And like don't really come across people with my name, which my full name is Yesenia. Mm-hmm. And when they read Yesi Makes Art, they've read it like Yes I Makes Art, and I'm like, no, it's Yesi. But it's funny because then I get to explain, you know, that's my nickname. Like
that's so interesting. Yeah. But like it works though. Either it's a conversation starter or people are recognizing you for that name, and it became your brand.
Yeah.
And what would you say, because I think art is such a broad term, and we went to a networking event at La Sala a couple months ago, and I remember they had us make name tags with like our name and then like our title, and then you were kind of grappling with like artist or something else. So what would you say is like your specialty, or maybe the type of art that you, I don't know, either feel strongly to or resonate with more?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I often think about that myself because I have so many services that I do and different things. I studied graphic design, and that's what I graduated studying, and it kind of evolved into murals and then teaching art classes. So I feel like I'm just all over the place, but in a good way.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard to like put one title to it, but I think it would just fall under artist because it's all art. Yeah. Just different forms of it. Mm-hmm. So that's how I think from now on, let's like artist. Yes. And then these are the things that I do, like little disclaimer, like, you know. So yeah, I feel like it's kind of going in that direction.
Yeah.
And in terms of what I want to focus more on, I've been really loving teaching art classes, and I feel like a passion for it. And when I'm teaching, I feel so happy and so calm, and like it feels right. Like I am supposed to be there. So I'm trying to focus more on that, but also having the murals and graphic design available. But maybe shifting more into that. We'll see.
I love it. And I think that ties in a lot with what you mentioned earlier about building community and connection.
Yes.
Because, I mean, yes, you can provide the service of making whatever for a client, but then having a group of people come together and teaching them, that sounds aligned with kind of the direction you're going in.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And with the murals, it was kind of something that I was not even planning to do. I remember I was painting at a restaurant, like outside, and this couple was walking by and they saw my paintings and they started asking me a bunch of questions, and they're getting to know me and like my art, like they really liked it. And they asked me if I had ever painted like on a wall, because they were looking for something for their home, and it just went from there. Like they really gave me that opportunity with just meeting me that quickly. And they're like have a special place in my heart because they're my first mural client. And I appreciate them so much for that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it just takes that one first leap into doing something, and that opens so many doors. I love that. Yay! So it's such a great start. My next question I'm curious about. This is really influenced, I think, by just growing up in Miami, and I think you also grew up here too, right? So this city is so diverse in so many different ways, but specifically in the people. Like, now that I look back at like the people who went to my school growing up, I'm like, I saw so many different countries represented, but I never really like thought about it until now, where I feel like it's just something I'm really proud of to make sure I share whenever I'm somewhere and be like, I'm Colombian and this is my perspective and what I bring to the table. So I'm curious if your like culture or upbringing had any influence on maybe like the art that you make or even pursuing this career. Like, how does it show up for you?
So, well, I was born and raised in Miami, but my parents are from Nicaragua. There is a lot of art in Nicaragua, and like beautiful like landscapes and, you know, depictions of fruits and everything. But I would have to say like a lot of my art is influenced by Miami and its diversity as well. Like I like to use a lot of bold colors and very like rich like hues, and that's what I'm really attracted to. So I tend to use a lot of those types of colors, and then the imagery is like most of it's nature inspired, or like butterflies. Like I did these.
Yes, they're beautiful.
Over here. But I feel like I am a little bit like not stuck to one type of art, if that makes sense. Like I kind of like to do different things, like more detailed or more loose work. Just depends what I'm in the mood for, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, the difference in like cultures and everything really does influence our day to day, and we don't notice it sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And even just like, I think going back to me going into these networking events, especially when you're in a big room like that, you see so many different people. It's like fun to learn from others and also give your unique perspective.
Yes.
And so you tying in themes of like the bold colors and nature in your work, you know, speaks to you, but also just the environment in which you were raised.
Yes, so I definitely grew up in my house with a lot of paintings. My mom has a collection of paintings from Nicaraguan artists.
Oh, that's awesome.
So maybe subconsciously it has impacted me in some way.
Yeah, just because like that was what was around you growing up. That's super cool. And nice that like your parents also embrace art, because that's obviously a huge part of you. So to have that just kind of already be like accepted is not the right word, but like, you know, a part of your family life,
like a normal
huge.
thing.
Yes. Especially because like, I mean, I can't speak to it myself because I'm not an artist per se in this fashion, but like you always see in movies or TV shows like the struggling artist, which is like true to a certain extent, but I can also understand, you know, some parents will be like, you need to be a doctor, rocket scientist or whatever, and you were encouraged to go on your path, which is huge.
I mean, it definitely does start off that way of like my parents wanted me to pursue something else. But they, you know, saw how interested I was with the art, so they kind of just let me be. And you know, I've always been like very determined when I want to do something, so I guess they were like, all right, that's what she wants to do,
as long as she's happy. That's great.
And yeah, they definitely were like a big part of my art education and everything. Like I'm very fortunate that they had me in art classes from a very young age. I think I was like 8 or 9 years old.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it was like weekly classes till I was like 18, I think.
Wow, that's awesome.
So I really appreciate them for that.
Yeah, and you're able to really develop that craft over time instead of just like the 4 years or so of college, which is still valuable, but it's not not the same level of experience.
Every time it was like, every year was like something new. Like I learned how to use so many different mediums, like charcoal, pastel, acrylics, oils, and just developing that whole curriculum of like learning all those things. Really, I don't know, it's just like I love it so much. And I get to like pick and choose which ones I want to use, and now I get to teach people how to use them. So
yeah, that's beautiful. It's like full circle.
Yeah,
I love it. So I love learning that arts was a part of your life since day one. Essentially, I think that's huge. And that made me think about my best friend is also an artist, but she's a textile artist specifically. Mm-hmm. She specializes in dyeing yarn. She makes her own, what do you call them? The things of wool.
The crochet?
The bundle of wool, whatever you call that.
Oh,
I don't know what the term is. The thing of wool, right? And she dyes it, she colors it, and makes her own things. It was super cool. And last year I had the chance to go visit, what is that place called? It's a place up in Baltimore where like they specialize in making their own colors for the wool, and then they sell it for crafts. And she's been artistic forever, but I'm completely blanking on her experience. Like as a kid, I don't know how much she had exposure to the arts, but then she studied arts and she went to like an art school. And you went to UM, right?
Yes.
So like that's different than going to an art school,
yeah,
I imagine, to a certain extent. I'm just curious what that experience was like for you, because I can imagine it's pretty... It could be different compared to like a school that's just dedicated to art.
Yeah. So I would say that's the biggest difference. There was, the art department and the art buildings and all of that. So it did have like that art school feeling, but then you would get out of that area and it was like now it's a different environment.
Like real life.
Yeah. But you would go to like just like a little bit off inside the campus and it was like a whole different place.
Yeah.
So I really liked studying there, and just the professors were great. I would say I had a good experience with all of them, and they had a lot of opportunities like for different classes. So I got to learn about printmaking, which is also another workshop I teach, which is advertises stamp workshops.
Plug it in.
But it's printmaking, and I fell in love with them. I had never tried it before. I didn't even know about it until I went to UM. And then I also specialized in painting, and graphic design was my main major. And just like there was a lot of art history courses and classes, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know if like looking back, if I would go just to an art school, maybe it would be cool. Yeah. to experience. But I think I was in a time where I wasn't sure what I wanted to study. So it was like, and I don't know if you felt that way when you were going to college. Like it was like you got out of high school, you got to start college right away, and it's like you got to decide everything. So I think that also played a part in like, okay, I just have to get into any school. Yes. Yeah. I have to graduate, I have to get a degree, that pressure. So maybe I would have spent more time and developed a huge portfolio to get into an art school. Who knows?
Like I don't think at that age you're really sure 100% what it is you want to go into. So I think in particular for what you studied, it's really interesting that there are options. So if someone's listening to this, like you can just go to like a liberal arts college and then choose art, or if they have any focuses, then you specialize in anything. But then there are also schools that just focus on arts in all of their disciplines, which is something I didn't know about. So then you can really kind of dive into it in a different direction, but you have options too.
Yes. I know. I remember at that time, like FIU didn't even have like graphic design. I think the most they had was photography.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, how's this possible? But so it kind of limited my options, because I wanted to. Well, at the time I was like, maybe I want to do graphic design, right? And I was like, the only college here in Miami that has that is like University of Miami. So I did my 2 years in Miami-Dade, and then I transferred over.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
that's also a good hack, I feel like, that people may not take advantage of. It's not a bad thing to do community college first and then transfer. It saves you money, most of all. Saves you a little bit of stress, it's a little less pressure, and then you transfer and then focus really on whatever it is you decide to do.
Like get all the basic classes done at a community college. It's gonna cost you like half or less than half of the cost. And I don't regret doing that. it was great. And also,
Good.
they give you a lot of grants if your GPA is at a certain level and things, so it was good.
That is good to know. And a
Yeah.
nice reminder, because I feel like I'm so happy. Like, I sound old, but I'm so happy I'm not a younger person these days. But it's tough out there. So I just like to kind of bring up these things because, like, I don't know who's watching. I don't have a million viewers, but I like to bring some stuff up because maybe this, like, hits somebody's ear and then they're like, let me think about the decision I want to make for myself. So that's also the point of this podcast, is just sharing everybody's experiences so we can learn from each other. So I love it. So the next thing I want to get into is talking about your work and how you feel like that fills your cup. And I think we were already kind of highlighting it, how now you're kind of leaning more towards doing classes, building community, and really feeling like in your power in the educator role. Has there been a time in one of your workshops or classes where you're like, oh my God, this is like why I'm doing this work? Like,
yes, all the
example?
time. Yeah, all the time. I always have at least one or two students that come in and they're like, I've never drawn before, or I've never painted before, so I don't know how this is gonna come out. Like, it's probably gonna be ugly, and I have to be like, no. It's gonna come out great, trust me. And like with guidance and just like the proper, like having a teacher that knows what they're doing is so important. I wouldn't say that I know everything, right? But it's just when you really know like the skill you're teaching and just how to teach it to somebody that's never seen it before and doesn't know anything about it is so important. And I think that's what helps students like really feel comfortable and calm and like confident that this is gonna turn out great. And just hearing their kind of quote unquote review at the end of class when they come up to me, and they're like, oh, thank you so much, like I thought this was gonna be horrible, and like look what I made. And I'm like, yeah, you see, like you can do it. Like you just need to come in with the right headspace and like not be thinking that this is gonna turn out poorly. It's how I say, like, it's not for a grade, it's like to have fun, to relax. And I sometimes people come in like really tense and I'm like, no, this is gonna be a good class, like I promise. So it's really important to kind of bring out that confidence in people when they come to do the class, because it gives them like more trust in you, I feel, and it just makes the class go very well overall. So, yeah.
I have two things to say.
Yeah.
I hope I don't forget both. But the first is that I put in this question because I thought of you. And I remembered the story you told me about, or not the story, but I remember when I came in to do the pet themed stamp making workshop, which was so much fun. And I remember a participant there was just having a really hard time with her work, and like there's only so much you can really do sometimes for someone, no matter how much encouragement you provide or like guidance or help physically. Like we're our own worst critic. But that experience, like seeing it as a bystander, really made an impact on me when I was making these questions, because that's something I want to ask each person I interview, is like, how do you work with people that are not really like what's the term you use, like kind of letting go and just kind of like embracing the experience. Because I have had my fair share as well. Like I'm outside and someone's like, oh, the bugs, and I'm like, let's try to move past this, but not everybody's in that mindset. Exactly. You try to mitigate as much as possible, but it's hard sometimes.
It is hard. There are like, that's it. I know what you're talking about. And you see like the person like slowly giving up and like stepping away from what they're doing, and I start thinking, okay, how can I pull them back in? Like how can I show them that it's gonna be okay? Like, or I'll be like, okay, you don't like what you did, or you feel like you messed up or something, let's flip it over and do it on the other side. Like, try to give different options on on, for them to feel better.
Yeah.
Because you don't want, especially like for me when I'm teaching, I don't want anybody to leave a class feeling like they failed or like, oh, this isn't for me, because it's not, that's not the result I want for participants. Like it's really important for me for them to have a good time.
Yes.
And even if it's the first time you're doing something, it's not going to be perfect, and I know we always strive for perfection, but this is just a class for fun, and it's what I try to tell people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's such a good reminder, because I feel like, for the most part, everyone's sort of stuck in that, like, it needs to be perfect. And it's, especially with art, it's perfect is such a scale. Everybody has their own style, and whatever they're kind of bringing in that moment will affect their art. And that was another thing I wanted to tell you. So for the audience, yes, he has been doing an oil painting class series for the past couple months, and I was in her first group. And I am not a painter by any means, but I took that class on purpose to like learn something new, try it, because that's something literally like I've only really, I think, started using paint in general the last year or so, and like I told you,
and you're really good at it.
Thank you. I try my best, but for being a student, and this was not on you at all, I was so hard on myself. I was like feeling so upset, because I was like, this color is not the right color, or like I remember with the
like almost defeated.
Yes. I remember with the we did the Van Gogh sunflowers, like, wait, but like, is it okay if I have like a blank space here and then I didn't fill it in? Like, I was like, my internal monologue was horrible, and it's like I said, no reflection on you, like I learned so much, and I'm so thankful, but I was like, I need to stop thinking like this, like I'm supposed to have fun, this is something I chose to do. So like, stop being mad.
No, I do that to myself too.
Exactly that feeling.
And like, we are our worst critic. We put it on ourselves. But I mean, it's part of being human, right? And then we always need those people to give us the positive feedback and like help us, and
help us get out of that mindset. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's also kind of like a muscle, not only physically like getting used to doing the art, but also thinking positively.
I know.
And I did
it's so hard all the time.
The past few months I've been doing a nature journaling educator certification, which has been really fun.
Cool.
And they've been teaching us a lot about teaching techniques. And one of the first things they were talking about, and it was so funny, after my kind of upset thinking during one of our first classes, I was then working on this other course, and it was talking about the growth mindset and how like you need to have an open mind, be willing to try and to fail, and that's something you should instill in your students. And I was like, oh, I know what that is, because I did not have that the other day. So it's just good reminders, I think, like as the educator, to put yourself in the student's shoes to make sure they have the best experience possible, because like you said, at the end of the day, it's just to have fun. And that's the goal.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't want anyone leaving sad.
No.
That's the worst.
Not at all. But I don't think that's the experience, like at the end of the day, you're like, we tried something new, and at least you can take that with you.
And I mean, the 4-week course is really fast, I feel. Like, to learn everything. Like, I've been doing this for many, many years. And so I don't expect anybody to come in here and do a painting of like that I do. Like, I would never, put that on anybody. I know it's like a beginner class, and we're learning the basics of even how to mix colors. Like, I even mess up mixing colors too. I'm like, no, that's not the right one. Why did I grab that one? But it's always like relearning every time you go pick up a brush. I feel.
Definitely. And I think also being able to be like a role model in that sense of like, yes, I can also make mistakes, or I also don't always get it right, is like reassuring to the group, and be like, okay, we can all make mistakes, it's fine, because it's like, again, that high pressure we put ourselves under, and it doesn't have to be that way.
Exactly.
So I think that segues really nicely into the next question. So we were talking about like how being a solo business owner is so hard.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is a whole other beast. Like, I kind of wish, even though it doesn't interest me, sometimes I wish I studied business, whatever.
Administration.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm only good at the creative piece, not the taxes piece. So it gets really hard. So I think finding community is huge, and that helps a lot. But I'm curious if there is something else you do to kind of manage the stress of running a business. And it could be like self-care, or maybe something within your business that you're like, I did this to make my life easier because math is hard, or whatever the case may be. I feel like we could take it any angle, but what is like the first idea that comes to your head when I bring that up, like how to cope with stress?
Definitely therapy.
Yes, that is such a good
like
answer.
I really, really like my therapist. She's helped me so much with, I've even like with the business and personal, like they mix, because we are the business and we're going through both things. So it's like you have to remember to help both sides at the same time, or like if one is like falling apart, like go help that one. So because it all blends in, like whatever's going on in your personal life will affect your business and vice versa. So for me, like therapy has helped me so much to understand a lot of things. But yes, I've had mentors help me when I first started, and I've been feeling like I need another mentor, like because things have changed so much, and I'll be honest, like it's really hard for me to sometimes land jobs that I want, and because there's so much competition out there, or people will say they're interested and then they ghost you, and it's like going like all this time you have put into emailing this person and going back and forth, and then you got no response from them, and I'm wondering, like, am I doing something wrong, or is it just like not the right people are contacting me, So I've been thinking about getting a mentor to help me, like maybe like fix things and see a new route. I've tried Google Ads too, so I'm working on that. I've had people contact me through there too, but nothing's like really solid. So I'm trying to see, like, maybe there's something in my process I need to improve, or I don't know, something.
Well, I want to thank you for being honest and talking about therapy, because I know like that still can be something hard to bring up. I love my therapist. I don't think she's watching this, but if you are out there, I love you so much. But definitely, like, because we're so intertwined with the business, it gets really messy sometimes. So it's good to talk about it with somebody who's not like involved in your life in that sense, So I think that's really valuable. And I really like how you brought up mentorship, because I think that's something I think a lot of people could also benefit from, like just having someone to like bounce ideas off of, but maybe who has done this already, or like can offer you some sort of support in any way. And I actually just signed up with a business coach who's gonna help me work on some stuff for my business, and I meet with her this week. And I'm so excited.
Let me know how it goes.
I will. I mean, I had such a great first impression of her already. Like, we did a consultation, and I was like, I need a therapist, but more for business, if that makes sense. It's like, I need someone who's like business-minded, profit strategy, blah, 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 stuff that's I don't understand. So, like, I have sought out that same thing. I can show you her page and everything, and you can see if she might be a good fit as well. But I just think that's so valuable, because like, at least for me, I'm about to hit my 2 years with my business, which is still pretty like early on, and I was like, I need that external support. Like, I haven't done Google Ads, but like, there's so many online resources which are super valuable, but sometimes you just need like a person to be like, this is how to do this, so you can get your results. This is the
process. That's what I want to, like, someone to sit with me and tell me, like, this is what to do. Because it gets tiring, but I'm like, no, I gotta keep pushing, but it's so hard to stay motivated all the time when you're getting rejections, and through the art and like being an artist, like there's a lot of rejections, just because there's so many people, and like you're applying to a bunch of things, and But I know, like, I've had jobs before, like I've had clients before, so I know I'm capable of it.
Yes.
But I'm like, what is it that I need to tweak to attract more people?
Yes.
Right? And the therapy has helped me with my confidence, because there's been times where, you know, you feel like, I feel like a failure sometimes, you know. And then the therapist is like, no, girl. Like, you know?
Like, you're doing so much.
Yeah, like, how can you be good at everything if you're doing the invoicing, the emailing, you're doing the actual art, and like, and you know,
Takes a lot out of
everything else that goes in between. But one tool that has helped me a lot is like Square Up. I do like my invoicing through there.
Yeah.
So, and also my payroll, I do it through there, so I don't have to do the math.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's always helpful. It's like one less thing I have to think about. And
Yes.
And it's funny because I remember always being like, I want to do art because I don't really like math, but there's so much math in art. Like,
Yes.
you
Or like you
don't
have to kind
realize.
of make a supply list, and then you're like, okay, how much is this gonna cost? How much am I making off of this class?
Yeah, measuring walls for murals,
Yes.
like calculating the square footage, and like how you're gonna fit your design that you did on your tablet onto the wall, like the dimensions. Like, there's a lot of math.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously that's not the route I'm taking, but that's something you may not really think about.
Yeah.
You know, so good to understand all the angles that go into it, because it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna paint. It's like you need to have a lot of preparation and thought ahead of time.
Yes. That's why, like, people will reach out and be like, I need this in 2 weeks, and I'm like, there's no way. Like,
Yeah.
like, just like preparing, like me designing it for you to approve it, like give me feedback, changes, and then buying the supplies, like everything,
Takes so much
preparing.
time.
It takes pretty much like
Especially-
at least 2 weeks.
Yeah, especially it's you doing it all.
Everything.
And also shout out, Yesi made my logo.
Oh, yes.
So that was such an easy, seamless process. I wasn't very picky, but it was really awesome to collaborate on that together
Yes,
as
it
well.
was.
Because I was like, I need a logo that looks like it catches my vibe just, you know, on first glance, you know, so you really helped me put that together.
Oh,
and that
God.
was something that, like, again, I'm not really an artist in this sense, so then I was like, somebody help make this. So I really appreciate your support there too.
Of course, no, and you supporting me too. Like, I know when you came, you wanted something new and you want something to make you happy and like really represent you. So I think we did a good job.
Wait, it's right here.
Oh, yeah.
My logo. I love it. It's a stamp. I have a printout. Like, I'm obsessed. I need stickers.
Yeah.
So I'm really
And
appreciative.
I love how you've been using it everywhere, on your Instagram, on your website. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the idea. Like, you want it to be like, I want people to see this color and think of me. You know what I mean? So, like, we're getting there. Since running your business or maybe your social media account, because I feel like for me, I have, like, having an Instagram account just, like, exploded my presence onto the world. Like, people will be like, I've seen your page. And I'm like,
Yes.
what?
You're like, me?
Exactly.
Are you sure?
So I think it's really interesting. Like, social media really is social, but like, I never really experienced that until doing my business account.
Yes.
So I'm curious if in either that platform or like in person, as you collaborated with other people, how have you kind of built like a network? Like, not so much, well, maybe you could talk about your students, but does this make sense? Like, for example, for me, like, I have met you and so many other people who are also like doing their own work on their own, which has been really interesting. So I'm not just connecting to potential clients, but other people who were kind of like in the same level, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
you
in
know
their
what I
life
mean?
or something.
Exactly, or like in their business. So
Yeah.
I'm curious if you've had any experiences like that, and how has that been for you?
Like connecting with those like-minded people. Well, I think I've met a few like through my workshops. Like how I met you was through your workshop, and we've kind of stayed connected that way. I've gone to networking events. I know you mentioned the one we went to as well. And I'm trying to think, like, because you forget how you meet people sometimes. And I'm trying to think, how did I meet? I think it was also through Instagram, just if you like someone's work, like just message them, be like, I really admire your work. Like people have done that to me, and it really makes me feel like I'm doing something positive. And sometimes I've been in like a very sad space, and someone messaged me that, and it really motivates me, and makes me feel like, okay, I need to get back up. So you never know, like just sending a positive message to someone can really help them. And I know I've done that a few times, and that's how I've connected with a few people that are also artists or graphic designers. And also being part of this studio that I'm at, which is collaborative. There's like 10 other artists in here that do amazing work, and I admire all of them. And just, that's how I got to meet all of them. And we're in separate like warehouses, so I don't see them all the time, but when we have our open studios, we get together and we can talk and be like, what are you working on? And then we can go into each other's spaces and see what we're all doing. So it's really nice. I really like the idea of building an artist community, and I feel like we have one here. So it's nice.
This place is super special. If you haven't been, we're in the Bird Road Art District. And it's so interesting because like I've always heard that like Bird Road Art District, but like I've never been in here until like coming to your space and the collaborative space. And I was like, this is so incredible because like just visiting here, and I got a little tour that one time before our workshop, and I was like, I want a studio space here. Like it just looks so fun and inviting and like collaborative. So I think the name is also so perfect. So I think you're in a good place here, like physically, but also like in the company of other people making art.
It rubs off on you. Like you'll see like your studio mates, like, oh my gosh, they've worked so much on that painting, like I need to get on my painting work. So it really like rubs off on like how the energy in the room. It's very interesting. And like you'll also see like certain colors being used by everyone, and you're like, oh, it's catching on. It's really interesting how that happens.
Absolutely. And to also just talk to them and be like, because there's so many different mediums that people are working with here. So like I remember there's somebody doing wire
sculptures stuff. I still haven't seen him in action, and I'm like, how do you make these? There's people doing oils, acrylics, watercolor, like of everything. It's really amazing.
So now we'll get into some fun thinking ahead questions, because we've kind of talked about like how you came to be, the work that you're doing now, thinking about mentorship and kind of growing on your own as a business owner. So then thinking even ahead, like in an ideal situation, if you didn't have like any budget for a dream project, what is something you would love to do?
Okay, so if I didn't have a budget, I think I mentioned this to you before, that I've been wanting to open an art school for kids and adults. And so I am working on that, trying to see how that's going to work out.
That's exciting.
Because, thinking about the location, like where do I want to do it? I'm from Kendall. Do I want to do it in Kendall, or should I go like somewhere else? So just all the logistics of that, just picking where to put it, it's like it's so hard. Endeavor. Yeah, and it also means like what's the price point for that area, or like are people more willing to join classes in a certain area? Like, is there more interest in certain places? So all of that I've been working on, like researching where to actually put this art school if I were to put one. And I noticed when we did this market together back in April, it was a kids event, but a lot of the adults, I would tell them, oh, I also teach classes for adults, and I see how they would just light up. Like, they're like, something for me to do. Like, it's not only for my kid. And so I really think this is going to be something that's going to work. And I even thought about, like, if there's classes for kids and adults going on at the same time, but different activities. So if they're like, oh, I don't have anyone to watch my kid
I love that.
during the class, I'd be like, don't worry, we have a class for kids going on at the same time, and so you both get to do art together but in your own space. So I've really been trying to develop all those ideas, because I do see a need for adults also to have fun. Like, we want to have fun too.
Yes.
and so that's what I've been working on, and we'll see where it goes.
That's so exciting.
Hopefully it happens.
It's now that I think about it, you also inspired that question when I was making these, because I remember you shared that with me, and I was like, I would love to know what everybody's like big dream is. You know? So that's so exciting.
Yeah.
And that also reminds me, there's an Instagram account I need to share with you. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm blanking on the name. But I think her account is called Karma Creative Studios or Creative Karma Studios. I think she's in New Zealand or Australia. Totally blanking on it right now. But I've been following her for a long time, and she started off doing art workshops like at different places, and now has opened her own studio. So she's talking about the whole process and making videos. So I'm gonna send that to you so you can get ideas.
Yeah,
because like that would also be my dream. Not art classes, but I want to have like a farm where I can teach it, and have plants and stuff. But that's super exciting. So and I feel like what you said would make so much sense. It's like you want to offer for kids, but adults need fun stuff too.
Yes.
So that's really important to keep in mind, and really valuable, because it's like you were talking to people and they were like, yes. So it's like that encourages you to be able to offer something like that.
Yeah. When I was seeing everyone reacting the same way, I was like, oh, I need to do something about this. Like, this is not okay.
That's so exciting.
That's how I felt about it.
Right. But I think that's how you get started. It's like you identify the need and you approach it in your style.
How to solve this problem.
But I wanted to know if there's any advice or maybe words of wisdom you would like to share for someone maybe getting into the art field or maybe starting their own business, kind of anything you want to share with someone who might be interested in either avenue or both.
Well, if I would say with the business, like, really, do your research and look up like what you're trying to do. Is it what certain people are attracted to what you're doing, to see maybe like there's an area that you should be focusing on, like of your services that you're trying to promote. I'm very camera shy, so
you're doing great.
I'm not gonna tell you like make videos with your face, because like I didn't really do that. It's something that's like very hard for me to do.
But not everyone has to do that.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. Maybe if you want to try like here and there, join them, that's fine. I've done that as well. But I feel like if whatever product you're trying to sell is really good, like people will like it, and if you try to also like relate with people, it also helps with your business overall, because people want connection. Going back to question number 1.
Yes.
People really want connection and want to know a little bit about you as well, not just like, shoving this product in someone's face, like buy it. Like, we want to know who you are, why you started this. So little important things to not forget. And then like pursuing the arts, I wouldn't, I'm not going to tell anybody not to do it, because I loved it. And if that's really like what you love and your passion, I would say go for it. Just think about how you are going to turn that into your career and look for opportunities. Like, there's always grants and open calls. I'm very lucky to be part of Collaborative, because they're very helpful with so many resources. We are in art shows, and they just give us a lot of opportunities to like apply to things, and they'll remind us, which I really appreciate, because there's so much going on that you forget to apply to things that you could have possibly gotten. That's what I would say with my little bit of advice.
That's awesome. I think both very good things, like just kind of try it, but also do it thoughtfully and try to put your energy in the right place, so that way you're successful as much as you can be. I guess we'll end with, if you want to share how you want people to stay in touch with you or support your work, I can't guarantee this video is gonna come out next week. So maybe
it's
don't.
gonna be viral.
Yeah, don't say that anything that's coming up like tomorrow, but in kind of in general, anything you want to plug and share or any opportunities.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, I teach workshops here at my studio. It's in the Bird Road Arts District. If you want to stay in contact with me, you can find me on Instagram as Yesi Makes Art, or go straight to my website, yesimakesart.com. And I post all my classes on there. There's also like opportunities to work with me through branding and murals. And yeah, just fill out the form, and I'll get back to you, and we can work together.
Yeah. That was great. Yeah, so connect with Yesi, learn from her. She has a lot of incredible knowledge on all of these forms of art that we were talking about. And if you need anything, she's your girl.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for watching.
Bye. Thank you.